the president held a roundtable with governors and small business owners about reopening the economy during a pandemic. But as our friends over at The Recount pointed out in vivid detail, while his invited guests spoke and shared their stories about the struggle to stay in business, Trump was on his phone.
So increased labor would be probably the biggest effect on our bottom line. Additional employees have been added to answer the phones, and runners are needed to take orders out to the guests waiting in their car. By mid-May, sales were picking up, and we did have our best Mother's Day ever, seeing double-digit growth over last year's weekly sales.
Still with us are our friends Michael Steele and Steve Schmidt. Steve, I'd like to begin with you. I would kill to have the Curb Your Enthusiasm music to lay over that, but we'd get in all kinds of rights troubles by doing it. But here's the thing. As these people are pouring out their stories of staying in business and staying afloat, this isn't happening in just any venue. He isn't even sitting in front of just any fireplace. I know you know about where he is seated and what is written on the wall just above him.
Written on the wall above him and was inscribed there, Brian, in 1945 is John Adams' prayer that only good men, only wise men would ever rule under the roof of the White House. And if you think about our founders, they spent incredible amounts of time debating, wondering, fearing the possibility that one day the country would elect a president like Trump. And in fact, the entire American system of government is set up anticipating that moment, and we reached it. There is no president who has ever served in the White House, and we've had a couple of scoundrels for sure, but there is no president ever who is so utterly lacking in the capacity for moral leadership, for the human quality of empathy, who has any interest in doing right by the country, serving the American people. What you saw there today is someone who just doesn't care. He's not interested in doing the job. He doesn't look at those people with any love, any concern. And leadership, in the end, is always an act of love. The president of the United States has to love the country, and he's got to love the American people who fill it. And that includes all of the American people, includes Republicans and Democrats and independents and the people that didn't support and didn't vote for you. And so we just see there again, on a day where 40 million people are unemployed, where we're closing up on 120,000 dead Americans and many, many more to come. We see America's decline in the world. And we see a president staring at his phone, disinterested. And understand this, that's exactly what he does in his intelligence briefings. That's exactly what he was doing when they came and told him in February and March that a pandemic was coming and we needed to get ready. He doesn't get it. He lacks the intellectual, the mental, and the moral qualities to be able to lead. And that's why when we get ready for this election, the fundamental choice is between a good man, Joe Biden, who cares, and a bad man, Donald Trump, who does not.
Michael Steele, to that end, about Mr. Biden, I'm going to put some state polls on the screen. In all of them, and they are really valuable states politically, Trump is underwater to Biden. Admittedly, in a lot of them, this is margin of error stuff, but as we say every night, 138 days to go now, as of tonight till this election. Maybe the Chinese can goose some of these numbers. Where do you put this thing?
Well, I put it in a number of spots right now. The first thing, though, that everyone needs to keep in mind and stay focused on is that this is June. There are 138 days to the election. And there's a lot that's going to transpire between now and August, let alone September and October. Biden is going to pick his choice for VP. Trump is going to say or do whatever Trump's going to do. So there's a lot of politics to come. But what these numbers are telling the campaigns right now, if you're Joe Biden, this is the moment where you step it up another notch, where you go out and you make a louder noise, because now you don't have the problem he had in February and March, where people were looking rightly to the president and governors of their states to give them inside information, direction, examples, et cetera, on COVID-19. Everything's now exploded open in a new way with the crashing of the economy and its struggle to recover, and where we are now on civil issues. So Biden has an opportunity to make those numbers grow over the next few weeks, which puts pressure when you get into the full throat of the campaign in the fall.